Welcome to Stalker Gamma. So this is going to be a tutorial for noobs because I know there's a lot of people out there who haven't really got into this game because it's too hard or like it's just not my type of like game because you can't buy anything from vendors. Well, I'm going to give you guys some tips, some helping tips, I guess. So as a new player, you obviously pretty much won't start with anything. So at the beginning of the game, when you start, if you find a sleeping bag, don't throw it away because you could use it. And I actually personally use sleeping bags like all the time. Because like for instance, if I'm in a place like this and you're tired or like in a mission or whatever's about to happen but you don't want to like wait, then if you have a sleeping bag, you just like pop it down. And now you just go to sleep. And then when you're done, you just pick it back up. And it only weighs like 2.5 pounds. That's not that much. So if it's dark out, you're fucked if you don't have a sleeping bag. So you might as well just keep one with you. It comes in a lot of handy situations. Now as far as like all of this that I'm showing you, there's a lot to it. So you have basic tools, which is your first set of tools you get. And then you have your second one. And the third one I didn't even put in here, but it's the same thing, just boom, 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 boom. They do the same stuff, but the higher tier of tools you get, the more things you can make. So for instance, the basic one can only make light armor kit and submachine gun / pistol repair kit. And the advanced can make medium, shotgun, and rifle kit, and some other stuff. Like I said, I didn't put everything in here, but you get the idea. And this one, the headgear, I didn't even realize was even in the game. But that's pretty cool. But when it comes to like cooking, which is a huge part of this game in my opinion, because why spend money on food when you can literally farm a fuck ton throughout this whole game as long as you're killing shit, which you always are. And there's fires everywhere in the game. So all you need is a little like torch thingy or one of those cooking pots. One of these. Either one of these work. It's a tier based, so this is like the basic one, which requires, I think it's like 4 uses you get out of it, 5 uses. And then you can buy this one, which has 3 uses, but it's portable, which means you don't need a fire pit. Because you need a fire pit for this one. But this one is portable, so you don't need a fire pit, so you could just use it wherever you want. But you need to have a jerry can to use it. So you just open it up and you just choose whatever one you want. And it tells you exactly what is going to be used. So if you have a quest for dog meat, if it says dog meat, don't use it unless you have more than what you need for the quest. So if your quest says bring me 3 dog meat and you have like 3, don't use it, obviously. But if you have like 12, then go for it. And these ones, the ones that require water or alcohol, these with alcohol I would not use unless you actually have money to buy the alcohol, or you have alcohol just laying around that you don't actually use. But I personally would not use the alcohol on food until later in the game, because it's not worth your money. And I don't honestly think the alcohol is used for anything, the white alcohol. So, I mean, you could use it if you want, but there's no point in it. The reason why I say that is because if you look at this, I think it's right, yeah, right here. It's 400 calories, which is 400 food in the game. This is enough to fully feed your character from like almost like hunger, death, you know? And it only gives you 150 rads. 150 rads is like fuck all. And I'll show you guys what I mean. Look at the bottom left of the screen. So let's turn off God mode. Take off the mask so you guys can actually see the rads. Excuse me. And then Where's the food at? I almost feel like I didn't even make it. I've never used this freaking thing before. There we go. Oh, there it is. Okay, I did make it. So yeah, 400 and 150 rads. Watch how much rads this gives me. Look at that. That's not even rads to worry about. It's very minuscule. Like, it's not even hurting my health. Like, you could eat 2 of those and still be perfectly fine. Like, when you compare food like this, no rads, but 292 food, that's pretty good. But when you make food, it's like literally just ridiculous. And the rads are so minuscule, it's like, doesn't even matter. So, making your own food in this game is huge. Like, it is a big priority to, like, make your own food. So I definitely suggest making your own. And when it comes to, like, cigarettes, I always see people use cigarettes when they have, like, 5% rads. It's like, dude, you're not gonna die. Like, for real. You're not gonna die. Like, Jesus. Anyways, so once you start getting some stuff and you have your parts, which is all of these, there's a lot in here, I know. The number one thing, though, that I use quite a bit is sleeping pills, because if you're tired, like if you're half tired, you're gonna fall asleep probably within like the next half hour in real time. So if you want to just sleep right then and there, because nighttime is coming and you don't want to be out there and potentially fall asleep, pop these and you'll be ready to sleep. Use your sleeping bag or a house or whatever with a bed, and then boom, go to sleep. These are really useful to have, but they're very expensive. And then when it comes to parts, this is where shit gets a bit crazy. So for instance, let's do this so I can show you guys this a bit better. So this is the workbench in the game. These are where all your tools go, like your advanced, your basics, blah blah blah. You can see them all in here. You craft a gun. We'll get into this here in a bit, but I just want to show you guys like what this stuff does. So just put all this in here for now. Just put all these in here. I didn't mean to put that in there. So we're gonna break this gun apart so I could show you. So now that the gun is broken, you could build this gun. I'll show you how. So now we need to go to like gotta find it. Pretty sure it was this one. Could be wrong though. Yeah, it's this gun. Okay. So you just eject magazine. We could field strip. I'm gonna field strip everything because we can't field strip the barrel without actually dismantling the whole gun. But it's the same concept. Okay. So now the gun is completely stripped. All there is a barrel. And like I said, you can only get a barrel if you actually break the gun and dismantle it like I did with my other gun. So as you can see, you hover over the gun, there's a lot of items that highlight. So whoops. Yeah, so all of these items are highlighted. So all of these are highlighted, and obviously the parts. So now there's 2 ways to do this. Obviously the part is 90%, but that's because it lost durability upon me breaking the gun, like dismantling it. And as you can see when I hover over this, it tells you exactly what parts it will use to repair this. Now, here's the thing that I hope to God newbies do not do until at least later in the game, because it's so fucking expensive and extremely rare. So, ramrods you can buy, they're fairly cheap. And part repair kits, now, pretty sure a part repair kit and the cleaning kit are extremely expensive, because I think last time I went to buy one of these, like end game, it was like 34 grand, and that was on easy difficulty. So this is probably gonna be like up in the 40s and 50,000s on hard difficulty, which obviously you don't want to buy that. Same with this, it's probably gonna be very, very expensive. But early game, if you find one of these, I would not use it. I would not use it unless you know what you're doing and you know it's gonna be worth that single use, maybe 2 uses, because you're not going to get a full durability one. There's no way in hell. But anyways, to repair it, just hover over it. It'll tell you exactly what it requires to repair it. Once you memorize it, you're like, oh, I need this and I need this, and that's perfect. So if you want to repair the barrel or whatever you're going to repair, click the item, just right click it, click use, and then click the item, and it'll tell you what it's going to be repaired with basic, without any modifiers. And here's where the thing comes in. Look how much this jerry can gives you. Gives you plus 60 repair. That is actually ridiculous. So, if your gun is damaged, obviously it's going to be. So if your gun was like, I don't know, 20%, 60 is going to be ridiculous. Like, you're going to almost fully repair this in one go, which is one use of the ramrod, which is huge. And then you have these items, which is 30, the numbers on these cleaning kit pieces, the oils. One is 30, one's 50. This is based on what your actual durability condition of the item actually is. So if it's 30, it will not repair your item if it's below 30%, and obviously 50%. So you need something better than these, and the only thing better than that is finding a better barrel, because you can't repair a barrel below 60% anyways. So pretty much you just use one. It'll give you a bonus of 56, which is ridiculous, which is obviously over 100. You'd preferably use a 60% if it gives you an option, but if not, the canister is probably cheaper than both of these combined. Like, you could probably find this for like 1,000. This right here is like 6 grand almost, 5 grand on hard difficulty. And I think this one's like around 3,000, so you might as well just buy one of these. Buy the canister. It's cheaper. Anyways, just click it. Boom. Done. Repaired. Same thing with this. It's in the inventory, so you can repair it. And the game bugged out because there's bugs on this still. But now it's 100%. And now, if this gun had a shitty barrel, you would just open up your repair, go to your crafting, and boom, you would put the barrel in there. But I already have a barrel, and if you read it, you need a toolkit. So, I'm gonna find the toolkit somewhere. We need this toolkit. So, oops, you just open up your workshop, open up the gun, there's the toolkit, click on the barrel because we repaired the barrel, and there's the barrel. Boom, now it's 100% instead of 90 or whatever it was, and you do that for every single piece that you own. If you have them, put them in here. Boom. And now the gun is fully repaired. Like, this will make the gun pretty much almost 100%. Now, if you don't have all of those pieces, which you most likely won't sometimes, So for instance, if we have like, let's just say we have like these pieces, and these ones are like 20 to 30%, okay, or something like that. You would click repair. That repaired the gun, partially. And now that the gun is partially repaired, you need to actually use the repair kit itself. Actually, not repair kit, I'm doing this backwards, my bad. Maintain parts. So if you look at it, we have two pieces that need to be repaired, but the barrel isn't fully repaired. So that's why it's given us 3 options. So, we just right click on the thing, right click on your gun, I mean, and then just click this. Boom. Now that one's repaired. Maintain parts, trigger mechanism, boom, that's repaired. Now your gun is pretty much fully repaired except for the barrel. And then you just maintain the barrel. But now you have a fully repaired gun, and it used the repair kit to do it. But like I said, if you have all of the parts for your gun, it won't use the repair kit. So, that's how you do that. It's pretty easy, but it does take a little while to get used to. And like I said, the cleaning kits do the same thing. You can repair the items that go to your gun, the barrels, triggers, the, you know, the gas tubes. They all could be repaired. But it has to be 60% or higher to be able for you to repair it. So just keep that in mind. Anything under 60, just sell it. God, look at that. 100% on a repair. Dude. That is actually ridiculous. I never knew the gas can was that insane in repairing items, dude. Jesus. That's pretty cool. And if you go to like these, see now it says it requires a multi-tool to repair. So each of these have different requirements. This requires a ramrod. This requires the file. This requires ramrod or file or cleaning kit, and this requires the multi-tool. So they all require different pieces. And out of all of these, the multi-tool is the most expensive. And I think the ramrod's next. So it's a bit crazy. And this will happen a lot too. Your multi-tool will break when dismantling stuff. And to repair it, you just use the sharpening stone. Click it, repair it, done. But here's the thing that I've seen people do, and I've done it so many times. And it drives me nuts that I do it. So here's some gear. Now, there's an easy way to dismantle these. You could right click dismantle, which will automatically use your multi-tool as far as I remember. Because it's 96%, so you dismantle, boom. I seen it drop 1 bar, so it did use a multi-tool. And this is what bugs me, dude. Like, if you want to just click it, dismantle, it's actually worse than manually dismantling the gear. As you saw, it used part of my toolkit, or my repair tool, my multi-tool thing, which I don't want it to do because how much money it costs and how much it requires to buy this to fix that. Because this is already like 3 grand. This is 3,000. On hard difficulty, these two combined is almost like 10 grand. That's a lot of money. And these are not really that easy to find. So instead of wasting your money, wasting your parts, just use your Swiss Army knife. Because these are really common. They're cheap. And just use this. Boom. Doesn't even use the multi-tool. But if you actually click it, watch the multi-tool. It should have took it 91% and it was 96. So always manually use your Swiss Army knife. Don't ever just click, because it'll always use this. Like, this is what it always uses no matter what, just because it's a better tool. So it always uses that first. Because it will cost you money doing that. And when it comes to ammo, do the same thing. Dismantle. And I'm pretty sure you can dismantle it with this too. Yeah. So if you dismantle, it'll use the multi-tool. So it's a long process to just drag, but it's better than just actually dismantling it, because you will waste your tool like you would not believe. It's way cheaper in the long run. Now when it comes to like the workbench, there's a lot you can do. You could repair, you could completely build your new mask or whatever. There's upgrades you could do, which requires upgrade kits, and this is where a lot of your money is gonna go. Like, a lot of your money. Like, look at that. $6,200. 10 grand. 16,000. Like, it's ridiculous. And then you get into here, which is where you have to buy your schematic blueprints, and all the crafting comes in. It's crazy what you could do in here. But as far as the storage, though, you kind of need it. You can just put it wherever you want. And when it comes to repairing gear, it's pretty much the same thing as repairing armor. Dude, it is popping off out there, dude. So when it comes to gear or weapons, though, I didn't mention this, but like if you just right click it, details, it'll show you everything. All the ammo, what scopes or suppressors it can use, what parts are in the gun, what parts you need for the gun, obviously, what repair items you can use to clean it, repair it, and all the mods, upgrades that it can use. And if the gun has an upgrade already in it, it'll show you exactly what one is in the gun. And if I hover over this, same thing with the gun, it tells you exactly what can repair this. So all of these cloth items can repair this. And if you look at the gear, it'll tell you like the rads and all the armor and everything. Just pop that bitch on. Look at that, now he's sexy. God, the game's like stuttering for some reason. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. You got the ammo. All the ammo you can make, which... the ammo kit. The drug kit is the same thing. Medical. And then the repair kit, which is the advanced tools, basic tools, whatever. And obviously when you make stuff, basic tools, like I said, basic tools. And then you can make all these items too, instead of buying them, which is pretty cool. It's actually cheap to buy some of these, but I'm pretty sure the ramrod and this one are most expensive out of these three. But look how cheap these are though. Super, super cheap. And then when it goes to the next one, you need advanced. And to make advanced, you either find it or get 5 basic tools. And then you move up to the next one, which is expert tools, which is right here. Very expensive. You can't even buy this, as far as I know. You have to find it, but it's expensive to like get it, I guess. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, it's pretty high up there. And you have 2 different ones, and I just realized this now. I didn't think you could make this with advanced tools. Because heavy armor repair kit, heavy armor repair kit. This requires expert. This requires advanced. I actually have advanced tools on my basic character. You could actually make this, and this makes really, really good armor. Because I'm pretty sure this mask is basic. Yeah, just medium. But when you come to like helmets. Pretty sure it's this one and this one as well. Like, this helmet is like really cool. Like, look at that. That's pretty badass. And also this one that requires the big ass exo helmet. But to make this, it only requires that one item. That's interesting. I'm in God mode and I actually almost died. Okay, game. Whatever you say. But anyways, yeah. You can actually make this pretty early in the game, which I didn't even know that was even a thing. That's actually pretty cool. So yeah, you can actually find this pretty early in the game, and all you need is advanced tools. Super sick. But this, you need the exosuit, which is... I'm pretty sure that's like really far down the game. I think you actually do need... Yeah, you actually need expert tools for this. I'm positive. But also you need the blueprint to actually unlock it. But I'm positive it's expert tools. And also you can make the cleaning kit that I said was very expensive. And to make it is actually quite cheap. This is the most expensive piece. Because that's a 40. And I'm pretty sure that's almost 4 to 5 grand. And it comes with 4 uses, so you could easily just buy one and be good to go. And then this is about 4 to 5 grand, depending on the difficulty you're on. Everything else is just super cheap. This you have to get for dismantling certain things. And that's the next thing we need to talk about if you dismantle stuff. Like, for instance, what would we get here? Like these right here. I guess we could go with like, yeah, like stuff like these. Where's all the radios? No, where's the junk? Oh yeah, there's also weapon upgrades. That's like a whole other story. It's not that hard to figure out. If you just buy it, just put it on your weapon. It's not too bad. It's towards end game though, because it's very expensive. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So here we go. So this is wood, obviously. It's a guitar. Right click, details. It tells you what it's gonna give you. Right click, and then dismantle. So you just, boom. There's the wood. And then for these, remember how you needed that metal to make that one item? Well, these give you components which are used to make your night vision, your pretty sure it's for your PDA as well, but you're also your anomaly detector thingy, your artifact detector. See, here's that metal scrap that you needed to make that item. So to make this, you need that fast meter scrap. And if you go down here to the radio, it gives you the scrap. So you would look for parts that give you the scrap. And you just right click, boom, this gives you scrap, boom. Now you have 2 scrap, 2 of the metal scrap. And you would just keep finding shit or buying the components. I wouldn't recommend buying these items from people because they are quite expensive. It's like, I know it's like roughly like around 2 grand for some of these. Like, I know shovels and like ball pen hammers and stuff like that are really cheap. Like, this is pretty cheap. The shovel's pretty cheap. I know these are kind of cheap. These do get expensive. And I know some of these do. I know this is very expensive. I'm pretty sure just one of these is like $1,000, which is quite a bit in the game. So yeah, a lot of these are very expensive on hard difficulty. So I would just advise finding him. Just calm down. I have yet to test this night vision. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Oh, yeah. That's cool. But yeah, anyways, I know this was like a really long video. But I don't know what else to talk about. Make sure you guys keep your food and hunger and everything up. What I normally do, though, by the way, if your food goes below 45, then eat food. Even if it's like shit food, like the bread or whatever. Same with your water. If it goes below 45, drink water. Because I think at 50 or 45, your container of water will fully bring your water back up. Same with your food. I think the food has to be like 100 and something calories to do that. Maybe 200. But either way, just eat food and stuff. What else? Like, everything's pretty self-explanatory, though. These are your pills, your radiation, sleep, stuff like that. As far as, like, the PDA, as you can see, this is the highest tier PDA in the game. It's the best one you can get. And it's highlighting an enemy, which is Sin. And it's highlighting another one, which is Monolith. Which I am Monolith right now. Which means these are my teammates. Because it shows your teammates on the map, which is super, super cool. So if you were like loners, it'd probably show like a fuck ton wherever you're at in the game. Like in a city or something. And this is an add-on, like a mod. It shows like people, like dead bodies. But yeah, the PDA shows like all your friends. I think it shows quest things. Obviously the map, it shows quest markers no matter what, but like see, like if I just choose some of these, yeah, see, there's the quest markers. You don't need a good PDA to show a quest marker, but like you do need one to show your teammates. And also the clicking. It's so good, dude. But yeah, the PDA is not too bad. There's like everything in here. Like it literally it tells you everything. So like if you want to learn about the game, definitely read your PDA. Like literally every single thing you have a question about is in here. Obviously, it unlocks new dialogue in here, things to read once you've discovered it. So if you discover radiation, you discover a toxin, you discover a mutant, it'll pop up in here as a new discovery, and then you just go and read it. Super, super useful. Now, also, I didn't talk about this, but at the beginning of the game, you need a flashlight. Like, you need a flashlight. And why is there a grenade here? That's a bit sketch. But yeah, you do need a flashlight at the beginning of the game. It doesn't matter if it's like a hand flashlight or a headlamp flashlight, but you need one. You could start the game with it, or you could buy it after you do a few quests. If you're new to the game, I would probably not start the game with it, just because you have plenty of daytime in the game to pump out a few quests and then buy it. I don't know what my character's doing. What are you doing? And then you'd be good to go. But if you can get your hands on night vision as early as possible, you can buy night vision as well from Yantar, from the scientist guy. It's quite expensive. It's like 11 grand, I think. 8 grand. It's cheaper just to make it. It's not too hard to make, but you do need the tools to make it. And there's the bug that's happening. I hate this bug, but it's right here. You do need the headlamp to make the night vision. And it goes in order. Headlamp, equals making night vision. Night vision equals making tier 2. And then tier 2 to make tier 3. So yeah. Oh god, but I think that's everything to really talk about. Obviously, crafting components such as ammo parts and components are just used to make things. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all to talk about. Yeah, the beginning of the game is just do quests, make money. Don't spend it on stupid shit. Just buy ammo you need. Don't buy like a ridiculous amount. Like, don't buy like 100 and something rounds of ammo if you don't actually need it. And when I mean need it, I mean like if you already have like 100 rounds, don't buy like another 200 just because you have the money to do so. Like if you go through 100 rounds killing 3 people or 2 people, then you need to like have a new strategy on playing this game. The only way you should ever go through that much rounds is if you're fighting a merc or someone that's actually tanky and eating your bullets. But like, yeah, you don't need that much. And if you're using all that to kill mutants, then you need to buy a different gun, like a shotgun or a pistol with a hydra shot or something, because you're wasting too much ammo, and that's going to cost you too much money, especially further down the line in the game. So just don't spend your money on stupid shit, and don't buy an excessive amount of medkits or bandages or any of this other shit that costs a lot of money. I've seen so many YouTubers do this where they just spend like 20 grand on fucking the pills, the rads, the alcohol, the medkits, the bandages. It's like, dude, you don't need that. Like, even if you play the game somewhat terrible, which I do sometimes, I still come out with like 20 bandages and like 6 medkits, if that, within like 10-15 hours. And I only buy 2 or 3 medkits every like probably 7 hours. And that's quite a bit of time for me to just make freaking 30 grand, 40 grand in that time. And I hardly ever use radiation because it's expensive to buy these. And if you're ever in an area that requires a pill that takes away 200 to 300 rads, then you shouldn't fucking be there in the first place. Because it requires a better helmet. And if you're in a place that requires 300 fucking rads to be taken off of you, then you're in like an endgame rad area which requires a helmet like this, which is pretty much half your fucking rad bar. So, yeah, these pills, if you have to use one of these, then you're in the wrong area. Come back to it later when you have like a really good helmet or a chest piece or both. Obviously tourniquets are really, really good, but I haven't really seen the use for it because if you're bleeding, a bandage will usually do the trick. It's really hard to tell what the difference between a bleed is and a really, really big bleed. Like, if you got the money, go for it with tourniquets, but I wouldn't. Just one bandage will work, but sometimes you bleed a bit too much, and if you know how it works, if you bleed, bandage. If you're still bleeding, another bandage. And once you understand how the bleed works and what it looks like, if you know you're heavily bleeding, which requires 2 bandages, then you can use a tourniquet, because you're double bleeding, if that makes any sense. So instead of using 2 bandages, you just use one of these. But this is like 3 times the amount of money as this. But it works. And also, these don't weigh anything, so don't be afraid to like carry these with you. Obviously, if you have basics, or if you have advanced, you don't need basic tools on you. But if you want to make items that require basic tools, such as like some of these, you could probably still use advanced. Because like I said, advanced tools is basic tools. You just make more stuff with advanced. You technically don't even need this in your backpack. But like these do weigh a lot. So do not carry these around with you. Only carry your actual craftable tools. Do not carry the actual items you crafted. Like these things weigh so much. Like all of these components for crafting you can carry with you. They're pretty light. Like all of these are really, really light. They don't even weigh like half a pound. So you can carry all of them with you. But it just clutters up your inventory. So all of these you can take with you because they don't weigh anything. But I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I left anything out really. I mean, feel free to let me know. There's so much to talk about this game, it's fucking insane. As far as artifacts, I wouldn't really do artifacts. This is the last thing I'm probably going to talk about, but if you do artifact stuff at the beginning of the game, only go after artifacts that aren't really in a bad rated area. Like if you take rads, that's okay. Just try not to go into the yellow or the red in radiation if you're going to try to get one. That's the only thing I can give you. I know it's hard to like avoid stuff like that because you don't really know if it's going to be bad or not until you get in it. But just try to avoid the ones that have really high radiation. So if you step in it and your rads are going up like a motherfucker, then don't worry about it. Just move on. But if your rads only go up to like a half a bar, like if your rads are half full, then it's okay. Like if you go in there, grab it, get out, and you're only like half radiated, that's okay. Just one bottle of alcohol or a thing of cigarette, like one cigarette will cure that. It's perfectly fine. And you'll be good to go. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in my video, but if you take the white pill bottle, you go dizzy. The blue one, you don't. But if you take the white one, you go dizzy and you can cure it. So, if I leave God mode, I'll take a pill bottle, the white one. See how we're all like, really like wobbly? Just take this. Just take the caffeine tablets. It gives you energy, so it kind of like kicks in. See, now we're not as wobbly. Like we're still wobbly, but we're not like all over the fucking place like we were. So you can actually still shoot people while under the effect of the pill as long as you have the caffeine. Without that caffeine pill, dude, you're like fucking, you're like all over the place, man. But when you're in a fight, you need to take this because if not, you're just gonna be like, See, now we're all back to normal. We're perfectly fine. So, if you ever take the white bottle, take the caffeine pills. If you take the blue one, you don't really need to take this because it doesn't really affect anything. But yeah, the white one will fuck you up if you use it in combat. So just keep that in mind. And that's pretty much all I gotta say, honestly. Hopefully it's not too boring of a video. I know it's long, but there's just a lot to say in this game. I think there's so much shit to talk about. But yeah, hopefully it helps you in the future. And Stalker Gamma. And yeah, hope your journey in Stalker is awesome and fun.